Hello again. So if you've been following our video series at St. Peter and Paul Parish, you know that our theme this year is to know, to love, and to serve. And I've had the great pleasure of just speaking with so many of our parishioners and listening to their stories of how they have come to know God and how they love God and how their love comes out in service to others. They're just beautiful stories that people have had the opportunities to share with us. I've been reading just over the last couple of days some of Pope Francis's talks that he's been giving, his Wednesday audiences, and he's speaking specifically about evangelization. How do we share our faith with others? Because it's an important topic. It's something that we're all called to do. And I think it becomes obvious if you're watching our series that each of the people who we've been speaking to, they're evangelizing through their lives. They really are sharing their faith through what they do. Whether they are teaching, whether they are helping in church, whether they are sharing the gospel in the workplace, whatever it might be. Just sharing in their lives, they are evangelizing and they are sharing their faith with others. And they're doing it through their understanding of God, their knowledge of God, their loving God, and it's coming out, as I said, in service to others. Now, when you listen to our interview with Linda, you're going to hear about her story, about how she shares her faith with others and how she shares her love of God with others. And one of the things you're also going to hear is you're going to hear some music in the background. So as we were recording it, our choir was rehearsing. So you're going to have a little bit of music in the background. If you listen closely, you're going to hear it. Anyway, I want to thank you for listening, and I hope that you will enjoy our interview with Linda. Thank you. Today, we're speaking with Linda Robertson. Hi, Linda. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Linda, how long have you been a parishioner here at St. Peter and Paul?
Oh, probably 35 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up in this area?
Deptford.
Okay, so you're close to here. 35 years a parishioner at St. Peter and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm correct, I think you told me that you're not a cradle Catholic, right?
That's
You
true.
weren't born
That's
Catholic.
true. I was raised Lutheran.
Okay.
And I converted in my 30s because I didn't like that I was the only one in the pew not going up for communion.
So you're coming to Mass here.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
How did you find that conversion process to the Catholic faith? Was it difficult? Did you enjoy it?
It was especially easy. We had a priest here, Father Kevin, and there was a group of us, and we met on Monday nights over in the rectory, and he made it very smooth. It was a lot of fun, and it was just natural. It was meant to be. So
Did you find Catholicism very, very different than being a Lutheran?
no, there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, they were a breakaway because of the rules, but a lot of it is similar. Some of it's very different. The Eucharist is the most, that's the biggest difference.
So you saw something very, very special in the Eucharist.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Were there other family members who were Catholic that in your particular family?
Yeah, my kids were,
Okay.
and their dad,
Okay.
and obviously their side, that side of the family, but not my side of the family. They're all Lutheran or other.
Well, we're glad you converted to Catholicism.
Yes, I love it.
The next question I have really relates to love.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you identify any times in your life that you felt God's love?
Well, always,
Mm-hmm.
always. But then there's times when it's, stronger and more evident, I guess. The times that I feel the most love is when I come to adoration or benediction. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent some time crying in the pews, sobbing by myself. But then it's just, for me, just a peaceful, special time. Also on retreat, we used to go to a retreat house in Elkins Park every year, and I just loved it there.
The retreat house that you went to in Elkins Park, Were they women's retreats?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The Dominican sisters.
Yeah, they were very, very famous for the retreats. There's
Yeah.
just so many people speak about
Yeah.
the retreats they went to there.
Yeah. It's unfortunate they weren't able to continue, but it was wonderful.
So the Eucharist has a special place for you,
Mm-hmm.
and the adoration, being able to spend that time with the Blessed Sacrament is very, very special. And you're able to feel God's love all the time, but you're able to feel it so especially.
Yes, and I don't take it for granted.
Mhm.
I feel very blessed. I'm very thankful. Most of my prayers are geared towards thanking and just really appreciating what we have here.
If you were to speak to other people about the Eucharist and adoration and benediction, what would you do to urge them to come? What would you say?
That's a tough one. I don't know. While I'm very chatty and I talk to people a lot, sometimes I have a hard time expressing that. I feel bad because people are missing out.
It's excellent that you have such a deep love for the Eucharist and you're able to feel God's love there. How do you share God's love with others?
Well, I try. I'm an usher at 11:30. I try to welcome everybody as they come in. I try to do a lot at the church, sort of in my way, in my own way of working prayer. I try to make sure that the church always looks good. There are things that I can do. I prayed. Please, God, let me know when it's time to retire, and please let me do more at the church, sort of as a payback. So. I hope that shows through, not only to the people here, but my family. Now they call me the church lady, which is very funny. But hopefully they see me doing things and it resonates at some level with them. Because, like a lot of other parents, I have troubles with the kids getting to church. They're adults and I've done what I can do.
I think that's an issue that more families suffer with than we really have an understanding of. Just every family I speak to has the same.
Yeah.
The same in ours as well.
Yeah.
It's what we face today as a church, unfortunately. The things you do for the church really are important. I mean, we see you here. We see what you do in terms of keeping the church looking good. And I know that you help also. You're a server at weddings.
At weddings and funerals. At weddings and funerals, and that's pretty new to me. I prayed on it, and COVID sort of pushed it back a little bit. But once I started doing funerals, it's just so important, and it's wonderful to be a witness to people's lives and to hear their eulogies and how they lived, and you hope people talk about you like that when you die, But now I've got my whole funeral planned. I have all my songs, all my readings. It's just such a blessing to be able to do that. And then Father Steve said, "Can you help me with some weddings?" So you're really at the polar opposite of people's lives, and that's so much fun too, because you're making a difference. You're hopefully making it a little bit smoother for the bridal party that day, and just showing an example of us being here as a community.
Well, what are some of the things you do to help make it a little bit easier and less stressful for the bride and groom?
We wrangle. We're like the wranglers. We have people, like, you stay here, you stay there. Now it's time. Line up. We judge the dresses. It's
and those things are important because the stress the couples are going through.
Right, and we come to rehearsal, so we kind of get and you'd be surprised. They know our names right away. Like, ask Linda what we're supposed to do. Where are we supposed to be? So, that's a lot of fun.
That's excellent. That's excellent. As your ministry progresses, are you seeing any other things that you think you might be called to do? Anything else that you're discerning in your own mind?
I kind of have a full plate right now. I don't want to take on anything else. I did step away from a couple other things because I want to give 100% to the things that I'm already committed to, and I felt like I was really stretching a little bit thin. I do have some family commitments too, so I want to. If I take on something, I want to take on wholeheartedly.
So in your retirement...
Why? What do you have in mind?
We're Catholic. We always have something that we're going to ask you to volunteer for. So I know you retired recently. You retired young.
3 years.
Yeah. Is it? Come on, it's 3 years already?
Yeah.
I feel like it was just yesterday we were talking about it.
Week 1 of COVID. Yeah.
Okay. So in your retirement, you've gone through that COVID time, and then you've come out of that COVID time, and you're finding a lot of good things to do in the church. How is she keeping busy in retirement?
We're extremely blessed because we travel, we camp, we kayak, we bicycle. We love being outside, and we're blessed with good health to be able to do it. So we do spend a lot of time outside, which is God's church too. There's such peacefulness in the forest.
And I can't thank you enough. I really can't. I think it's important that we hear from people who we recognize. We hear from our parishioners as to what their faith journey, is calling them to do, how it's calling them to witness to our Lord. And we can do it in so many different ways. As we speak to each parishioner, we hear so many different ways that they're being called to share their faith. And what you're doing is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so very, very much for being with us.
You're very welcome.
For all that you do.
You're very welcome. Thank you.